Hey everybody, this is Damian from Laymon Designs. This is the first tutorial in a series of Microsoft Excel tutorials. The purpose of this is to show you how to use Microsoft Excel, show you where a lot of the tools are located, how to do a lot of really interesting things that you might not have realized, and to make you much more proficient in the program. Now, I am using an older version of Microsoft Excel. I'm using I'm using 2003. But the things that I'm going to show you, you're going to find that you can use them and you can implement them no matter which version you're using. I'd like to upgrade and start doing some tutorials in 2010, but I think you'll find that most of the tools that we're going to use um, uh, are going to be pretty much the same no matter which version of Excel that you're using. In fact, I have a tendency, I'm a big fan of the right click. So you're going to find that we're going to be using a lot of we're going to be right clicking to do a lot of things instead of relying on some of these toolbars. Now some of the toolbars are great, but right clicking is very handy because you have a lot of stuff at your disposal. Okay, first off, you're going to see that it's laid out like any other Microsoft Office program. You're probably familiar with Word. That's a standard. Most people have kind of broken their teeth on that. But Microsoft Excel is spreadsheet software, in case you're not aware of it. What it allows you to do is it allows you to create invoices, calendars, worksheets, balance sheets, any kind of accounting type figures. It allows you to do calculations. It allows you to create a lot of different types of layouts. It has a lot of great features to it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to work with some of the formatting. Okay, right up here at the top in the older version, you do have your file menu, like you'll see in most Microsoft programs. You have your edit, your view menu, insert, format, tools, data, window. Contribute something you probably won't see, and you probably also won't see the Adobe PDF. That's something that I have installed on my computer. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Microsoft Excel is made up of rows, columns, and individual cells. Okay, a cell is just the intersection of a row and a column. So for example, if I were to tell you to go to cell A1, you could just simply click right there. You can also use the arrow pad on your keyboard and move up, down, left, right. Okay, and you can actually navigate around by doing that. If you hit enter on your keyboard, which is what I'm doing right now, it should automatically go down one cell at a time. Now also one thing that I want to let you know, feel free to pause this tutorial at any time so that you can go and do it. I'd have Excel open in a different window, pause it, go try it out, come back and hit play. That's one of the great things about having tutorials such as this. Okay, so we're able to navigate around. Also, if you know that you need to get to a particular cell, let's suppose you have a very large worksheet right here and you need to be able to go down to a particular cell. Let's say I want to go to cell, let's see, BB 214. It actually takes me to BB, so column BB, row 214. It is that big. I think it actually goes to, if we were to go all the way over, I think it goes to like IJ over. So it's 255 or 256 columns, I believe, and about 66,000 rows tall. So you can actually go down to row 66,000 and some change, or 65,000 and some change. So, and that's each particular sheet. You'll also notice that you have multiple sheets here. By default, you have three. If you're doing something and you only need one worksheet, you can simply right click and you can delete the second sheet and delete the third. You can also insert a new worksheet, so we can click OK, and then it added sheet 4. Now you can also rearrange these just by simply clicking and dragging. So let's suppose you're keeping your accounting records in Microsoft Excel. I recommend a better program than that because you have to program everything from scratch in Excel. QuickBooks is worth the $200 that you're going to pay for it, but you can actually keep a lot of things in there, and you might have multiple worksheets. You might have a worksheet for just a business list, a client list. You might have a separate worksheet for your inventory. You can have all kinds of different things. So you can have as many of these, as many worksheets as you want. There probably is a limit, but I've never hit that limit, so you're pretty good there. Now, in terms of adjusting the layout and the look of your particular columns, that's what I want to focus on in this particular tutorial. First off, you can rearrange the size of a column, the width of a column, by simply clicking right up between column headings, and this is known as a column heading right here. Click and drag, and you'll see that this column is now 44.86. I'm not sure what that measures, but it's 4486 or 319 pixels. Okay, we can drag it back in. If I wanted to make multiple columns the same width, highlight multiple columns by clicking on a column heading and dragging over. And then I simply click and drag any one of those column headings, and it adjusts all of them at the same time. So you can change multiple columns at once. You can also right click and go to column width, and you can manually type in any amount that you want right there. 26, click OK, and they're automatically changed. That's where right clicking is very handy. Anytime you wonder what some of the tools are in any particular program, try right clicking on something, see what comes up. You're going to find a wealth of different things that you can do with it. You can also hide and unhide. We'll get into that later on. So you can change the width of a group of columns, or you can change the width of columns individually. You can do the exact same thing with rows. A row does not have to be this short. We can click, highlight several of them, click and drag. Now each row is 28.5 or 38 pixels tall. A pixel, your computer monitor resolution is probably set to 72 dots per inch or 72 pixels per inch, so 38 pixels is just over half an inch probably on your screen. That looks a little bit smaller. It might be set to 96. I'll have to check, see what my resolution is. But that is how you can change the width and height of any particular cell. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to change these back. I can't remember what the default is, but I can click on any one of these. It's 12.75. Now if I click on that, that's 12.75. The default column width is 8.43. So I'm going to highlight all four of these and go to column width, and now I'm just going to type in 8.43. Even though all these columns have different widths, if I select them all and type in 8.43, click OK, now they're all 843. You can also specify a column width based on the contents of that cell or of that column. So let's say I'm typing in a series of names. And let's say that my column is very small, but what I want to do is I want to be able to make this column as wide as my biggest entry, as my longest name. All I have to do is click right up here, or I'm sorry, place my mouse between the two columns right there in the column headings and double click, and it's automatically going to become as wide as it needs to be. Let me think of a really long name. Whatever, and you simply double click, and now all of a sudden that column is as wide as whatever the longest heading is. Okay, so that's how you can actually change the width and height of columns or multiple columns at once. Alright, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this tutorial because I want to keep them fairly brief so that you have time to actually play around with each one and take those basic tools or those basic techniques and really apply them. Also, because of the fact that some of you might have slow internet connections, I don't want to make a video so long that it takes forever to load. So this should load fairly quickly, and then what we can do is I'll go ahead and I'll start working on some different ones, and you can just kind of continue through the different tutorials and learn a lot of different tips and techniques. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop me a line. Oops. My email address is Damian@LaymondDesigns.com. Now obviously I'm doing this to also promote our business, so feel free to take a look at their website. Call me up if you have any questions, whether it's related to this or not, but feel free to drop me a line. I'm more than glad to help out with anything, so feel free to send us an email, check out the site, and look forward to more tutorials.